Not going super into detail due to not wanting anyone in the story to be found, but we'll answer questions if you have any. My 26F sister, 23F, knowingly married a registered sex offender and is now struggling to cope with the fact my other sister and I went no contact with her. I went no contact on morality coupled with the fact I have a 4-year-old daughter. Her husband is my age. He was charged in 2023 with many, 20 I believe, counts of possession of sexual abuse material of a child as young as the age of 5. Since we found out and went no contact in spring of this year, I have faced nothing but guilt tripping from some family members, mainly my grandmother. She went to visit my sister this weekend and this morning told me that she is planning a trip which she wants my other sister and I to attend because sister is struggling with the fact you two don't talk to her. I think you need to get over whatever it is you're feeling about this because that's your sister. You don't have to have a relationship with him, but she's your family. I have already had immense guilt over whether or not I did the right thing in going no contact. I've never had to navigate something like this before. I would much rather have contact with my sister, but that puts my daughter one step closer to her husband, and I would never forgive myself if something happened. No one has criticized her for marrying a pedophile, but I get criticized weekly for not talking to her because of it. So, am I the asshole for going to contact? I guess I'm also looking for advice on how to navigate no contact and staying strong on my boundaries. Signed, a recovering people pleaser. TLDR. My sister married a pedophile and is now upset that I and our other sister went no contact with her. Edit. For clarification, since it seems the point of this was either lost or not being comprehended, no, I will not let him anywhere near my daughter, duh. No one in my family is questioning that. They just don't understand why I want nothing to do with my sister. Edit 2. Answering FAQs. He is not in prison because he took a plea deal with a lesser sentence than if he plead not guilty and took his chances in a trial. And my child's presence in this situation is not the one being questioned. No one is asking me to take her to visit her new uncle. They are asking me to visit and talk to my sister. Our youngest sister and I are the only ones who have eliminated contact. I am not throwing her to the wolves by cutting contact with her. My parents and grandparents have made their support for her, not the situation, clear. They obviously don't like who she married. She still has an out through them if this is an abusive situation. No one in my family has voiced support for him or his actions. No one has tried to say he is innocent. They knew each other for a month before getting married. I'm assuming this timeline. She had been out of a 5-year-long relationship for 2 months when she said she was getting married in a week. I had visited her in February of this year. She was not exclusively dating anyone then. Mid-March is when the wedding text came. She told me he told her his status the first night they met. She did not disclose his status to me. I found out and asked her, assuming she did not know, and she said, I know what I'm doing. He was caught because he downloaded explicit pictures of a minor, 15/16, to his Snapchat, which alerted NCMEC. This is when his house was raided, and they found his external drive with the pictures of the kids. I'm not sure if he was watched during this time or not. Top 3 comments. 1. NTA, but I would give grandma an ultimatum. Tell her that you are not jeopardizing the well-being of your daughter by hanging out with a known sex offender, and if grandma keeps bringing it up, then you'll have to start reevaluating grandma's involvement with your daughter. Exactly, because I would be too paranoid to leave my child with her if she gets the idea to take her to meet her new uncle. And no one knows if he stalked her family out to see if they had any kids at all. I hate saying it, but nothing is ever a coincidence when it comes to things like this. Response of Opie. This is what I immediately thought of. I don't know what pictures she had on her dating profile. She could have had one with my daughter on there, and he's using her as a link. 2. I too am a survivor. OP, tell grandma that, whether she's family or not, sister is choosing to stay married to him, knowing that he is a predator/pedophile, and that, as others have said, if she continues to try to push the issue, you will cut contact with her, as well. Being around people who are literal monsters like that is like being around anacondas, boa constrictors, pythons, or even the most venomous snakes in the world, trying to use the snakes in the grass metaphor, but it's not working out too well here, LOL, but just saying, it's fine. They're family now, they would never hurt a family member. And then either act surprised when, down the road, they find out a family member was hurt by the monster, or they turn a blind eye, don't believe the person who's making the accusations and say they're just making things up and crying wolf just to get the monster in trouble and get them out of the family. AITAH. Keep your immediate family as far away from that monster as possible. 3. But they're family. Nope, nope, no. Most often, sexual abusers know the child they abuse but are not relatives. In fact, about 60% of perpetrators are non-relative acquaintances, such as a friend of the family, babysitter, or neighbor. About 30% of those who sexually abuse children are relatives of the child, such as fathers, uncles, or cousins. Strangers are perpetrators in about 10% of child sexual abuse cases. From cafeonline.org. So, hell fucking no. Any residual guilt you feel about setting this very healthy and normal boundary will pale in comparison to the day your daughter tells you could have kept her safe and finds out that you left her with anyone who was already convicted or who would take her around a convicted pedophile. Yeah, you're doing the right thing. That grandmother is a fucking troll. Wish my mother had had your strength. Also, your sister is a fucking troll. When has normalizing pedophilia become a thing? Like what next, pedo for prez? Pedo and proud? It's fucking weird. And good for you, Opie. You're only the AH if you go back on this. AITAH.